Hey everybody, Chris the old ass retro gamer here, and you're watching Captain Algebra. Remember Kenna, suckers.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here. Welcome to another Top 10 SNES Stage Music Theme video featuring 4 more of my favorite YouTubers. The first one was so much fun, I figured it was time to do another one. So without further ado, let's hand it off to Max Impact.
Hey, thanks Cap. So the SNES, 2 of my favorite tracks of all time. And if you know me, you know that I love beat 'em ups. And the SNES has one of the best beat 'em ups of all time, and that is Super Double Dragon. And here's one of my most favorite themes from that game. Super Double Dragon from 1992 is brimming with excellent music from top to bottom. And the apex of that comes from Stage 4, where you fight on top of a semi-truck no less. This song just taps into something so unreal in me, and when the woodwind instrument kicks in at the back half of the song, it's at times epic, sad, and uplifting all at once. So here's a game that I had no clue so many gamers hated, and that is Lagoon. Now this is kind of like a hybrid RPG action platformer. It's really strange and really weird, maybe that's why people don't like it. But here is my favorite track on that game. Whenever I hear the Atlan theme from Lagoon, it's almost an immediate teleportation device to Nostalgia City. It's akin to watching an old anime from the mid to late 80s, a time in my life that was much more simpler and easier to figure out. And maybe that's why I love this track so much. It harkens back to an age passed by. Take a listen. So once again, thank you very much, Captain Algebra, for inviting me over to partake in this video. And I'm going to send it off now to Back in the Day Gamer.
What's happening, YouTube? Back in the Day Gamer here. Big thanks to Max Impact for introducing me, and big thanks to Captain for having me be part of this collaboration. When he first asked me what my top 2 favorite stage music was on the Super Nintendo, the first one was a no-brainer, didn't even have to think about it. But my number 2 was tough, because there's so many games that I don't have or haven't played a lot of, and it's got a great library of music. I felt I had to try and do it justice. I don't think I did with my pick though, however. Now when I was going through all my games trying to choose, I actually had the most fun with this one. So it not actually being as good as so many, this was my number 2 because I had fun with it. And that would be the intro music and the music on the first stage for Animaniacs. So back in the day, I used to watch this cartoon all the time. It was on right after school. It's not the greatest song in the world by any means. There is so much better, but it's really catchy and it's a good tune. Therefore, it gets my number 2. And hello, Nurse! So like I said, when Captain asked me to be a part of this, I didn't even have to think about what my number 1 was. It's been the number 1 since way back in the day when I first heard it, and it still is, to this day, my favorite, not only on the Super Nintendo, but on any game of all, and that is the, well, I'm not sure the exact name, but it's the cave music on Final Fantasy II. I can still remember the first time I heard this back in the day. Walked into my buddy Brian's house, lived across the street from me. At this time, we had still been playing Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy I. So you're familiar with the music in those games. It's nothing special. He was the first person I knew that had a Super Nintendo. Obviously, the graphics really stood out. And, you know, this controller now had 6 buttons instead of 2. You know, the Super Nintendo was groundbreaking at the time. When I heard this music, I was blown away. I had never heard anything like that before on a video game. It was just bleeps and bloops up until now, basically. But this was actual classic music in the video game that I loved. Not only is this game great, but basically all the songs in this entire game are fantastic. But this one stands out to be my favorite. So that there is my number 1 pick for music on the Super Nintendo. Once again, thank you, Captain, for having me on here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And let's take it over to Paul Retroman Tesi to see what he has to say.
Thank you, Back in the Day Gamer. Hey everyone, I'm Mega Retroman, and I'm here to share 2 of my favorite Super Nintendo stage themes with you. Once I was asked to help out with this video, I had a very difficult time narrowing down to just 2 songs. Hopefully you guys will approve of my selections. So without further ado, my 2 selections are from Mega Man X and Super Turrican. Let's be honest. Mega Man X was not only a highly regarded game, but the soundtrack was as well. The game has some of the most memorable rockin' tunes in the Super Nintendo library. For example, my first choice, the Armored Armadillo stage. Not a lot of people are familiar with Chris Hulsbeck's work on the Turrican series. He provides phenomenal melodic tunes as well as atmospheric tunes to the Super Turrican soundtrack. There were a few songs I was considering for this game, but I decided to go with a song that everyone will hear when they start the game, the Stage 1-1 theme. that'll do it for my 2 selections of Super Nintendo stage music. I hope you all will not only enjoy the tracks that I've selected, but the rest of the game's soundtrack as well. Now I'm going to send you guys off to the wild boys over at Gaming Off the Grid. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you so much, Paul. When looking at the Super Nintendo and the vast library of games and the music that drives them, I thought this was going to be a lot harder for us to come up with our picks. Turns out, we dove in and 2 rose to the top right away. If you don't mind, I'll start with mine because
Go
I'm
ahead.
very passionate about this game and this song. Donkey Kong Country's Aquatic Ambience. Water levels in platform games have long been the bane of platform gamers' existence. They're tough, the controls are slower, they're more rounded. You don't have the precision in a water level. They are anxiety-inducing. And David Weiss, the composer of Aquatic Ambience, removed those nerves. There's no better song on the Super Nintendo or in gaming history, in my opinion, than this song. It feels like you're in the water. It feels hypnotic. The psychedelic nature of the song, it can almost put you to sleep. But it doesn't, because you've got the maddening frustration coming at you from a visual standpoint and a control standpoint of a water level in a video game. I cannot think of a better song composed on the Super Nintendo. There are so many peaks and valleys in this song. When the song about midway shifts into the higher tonations, it's just beautiful. Literally, every time I play one of the water levels in this game, I'm transported back to when I first played Donkey Kong Country. This song takes me on a journey every time, and it has for more than 20 years. It's the gift that keeps on giving, and David Weiss, the composer of the video game developer Rare, he smashed it out of the park with Aquatic Ambience. This whole game's soundtrack is epic, but this song is an all-time classic and perhaps the greatest showcase of music on the Super Nintendo.
I wasn't born yet when the Super Nintendo came out, so this was kind of tough for me. And I kind of feel cheap picking this game because technically it's for the NES, but it did get released for the Super Nintendo. It was a crossover game, Tetris, Dr. Mario. I'm going with Chill from Dr. Mario.
Chill puts me in the mood to do puzzle games, and not only that, it puts me in the mood to dance. There's such like this rhythmic, pulsing pacing of the song that is so cool to listen to. Now, what makes this version different than the NES version? Well, first off, there's more parts. There's this really cool high part piano. It kind of feels like Morse code. When I first heard it on the Super Nintendo, I was like, whoa, that's new. Then the bass feels heavier, it feels deeper, it just feels like there's more depth to the song in general. It's hard to explain, but it just feels more polished and more just alive. I love all the shifts that happen in Chill. I listen to Chill all the time. I listen to it in my free time. I listen to it while I'm at work. It's such a good song to listen to. It's kind of a hidden gem for the Super Nintendo/NES because it's not the default song of Dr. Mario. When you first plug in Dr. Mario, the song is Fever. I mean, Fever's a great song too, but you have to manually go down to the bottom and go over and switch it to Chill to find this incredible song on the Super Nintendo. And that is my favorite song on the Super Nintendo. Chill, Dr. Mario.
All right, those are our picks for the Super Nintendo songs that move us and forever will. Aquatic Ambience on Donkey Kong and Chill,
Dr. Mario.
Dr. Mario. Back to you, Captain.
Thanks, Robert and Wes. Wow, guys, Tons of great picks here. It just goes to show you, along with the first top 10 I did, and now this one, how many great songs were on the SNES. But now, it's time for mine. And the first one came from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
One of my favorite parts of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show was the music, and this soundtrack fits in perfectly. I love all the tracks, but my favorite is from Area 1, The City. Right from the beginning, it hits you with intense sounds and a great drum beat. The intensity never wavers as you continue to destroy putties left and right, and eventually face off with the boss of the stage, Bones. The game is a very simple beat 'em up, but the music keeps the adrenaline flowing the entire time, and I never get sick of throwing this game in and running through it with the music blasting.
And number 2, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
The exact opposite of the adrenaline-pumping music from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, my second choice is the music from Stage 5 of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. This theme fits the snowy scene perfectly. The serene music flows as you run through a forest of ice, climb mountains, dodge avalanches, and kill enemies as the snow falls peacefully around you. I love the calming influence of the flute as the song progresses. This theme is nice and relaxing and gives off the usual Capcom vibes. The game can be quite intense, but Stage 5 slows it down a little bit, giving you a chance to breathe right before taking on the intense last 2 stages.
So there you go. There's another top 10 SNES stage music themes. If you haven't done it so yet, go check the other one featuring The Renaissance, Do You Nerd, Die Hard Gamer Bros, and Nefarious West. It was a lot of fun to make. And if you guys want to see another one, let me know. I'd be glad to do another one, as well as have 4 more people join me. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these choices and what were some of your favorite themes on the SNES. As usual, thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Captain Algebra, signing off.